Shalom, Ka'alayim, La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the bishops and the elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Shalom to you, fellow laborers out there doing the work in truth and in sincerity, especially during these times. Shalom to the few Akwaf that believe as well. A hearty shalom to you other laborers and believers that are scattered abroad, even if you are among the heathen, and even like the heathen who are speckled bird Israelites, to the household of faith, which is the elect. I want to say shalom to you. Back at you with another quick Lord willing edifying lesson, and this is my response to Marquette, roast Hebrew Israelites. I believe this dude Marquette is an agent. I believe he's set up to, come up against us. Well, really against his truth, really. Not against us, it's against his truth. And he's been talking shit for some time, and the thing that he don't understand and know is that the Heavenly Father's gonna have the last laugh. And that's something that he don't know. He talking about roasting us, the Lord gonna roast you with fire. Yeah, he gonna roast you with fire. Thermonuclear fire. And that's gonna be the end of you, man. Personally, I hope the Lord deletes you. I hope Yahweh Bashim Yahushua deletes you sooner. But hey, if you make it to the thermonuclear fire, the Lord gonna literally roast you. And that'll be the ultimate laugh. Because what you're doing, my man, is very evil. Matter of fact, let me grab a precept real quick. So you're doing something evil, and you don't even understand that you're doing something evil. Because you're in your ignorance right now, you're in your foolish state of mind. This is Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are childish children. What the word childish mean? The word childish means stupid. All right, so the Lord says people are foolish and they're stupid. They are childish children and they have none understanding. And clearly, Marquette don't have no understanding. See that shit you be talking, may work in that red pill space, all right, or conversations pertaining to this world with these foolish people that you talk amongst. But when it come down to the knowledge and wisdom and understanding that come from above, you don't have it. You don't have it, my man. It ain't going through that bald ass head of yours. Because Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rachakodash, which is the Holy Spirit, is not dealing with you. And you're just a scoffer and a scorner whom the Lord is going to prepare for judgment. Least you repent, which I say that very, very humbly. Because a guy like you, my man, you ain't gonna return. As a matter of fact, I believe you stated on one video that you're into the religion of Islam. Which is madness in itself. Fucking madness. But yet, you would come against us. For having the truth. And you're not a practicing fucking Muslim, to say the least. You're not a practicing Muslim. A lot of you jakes is into that Islam nonsense. You don't even read that damn Quran madness or live by it. Because Jake full of shit. There's going to come a time when the Lord's going to really judge you. Matter of fact, he's judging, you jakes right now. Why? Because let's keep reading. It says, they are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. See? And the Lord's going to punish you evildoers among our people that refuse to return. He's going to destroy you. He's going to delete you, man. That's good for you. The Lord doing you a fucking favor by deleting your ass and bringing you back in the kingdom in your right mind. Because on this side, the Lord ain't dealing with you, man. So let that sink in. you know. But addressing the video at hand, you know, he's talking about he's going to roast the Hebrew Israelites. First of all, you know, we have the truth. And you're not a believing Israelite that's trying to find understanding. See, we don't have to address you, man. The truth is out there. So the blood is off our hands. Now, whether you accept it or not, that's up to the Heavenly Father. Because the Lord caused the gospel to be preached into all the earth, man. Excuse me. So he heard the gospel. In other words, you heard the gospel, man. But what's the average Jake mindset? Is to rebel, revolt. Okay? Same reason why he's talking shit in his videos. Now let's play a little bit of this clip. I want to say fair use, fair use. Of course, my videos are not monetized, only for literary commentary and biblical purposes. So with that, fair use, fair use. Okay? Let's see what he's talking about. Again, fair use, fair use.
Importantly, when you tell me that Bob Marley's not a black man, I find that...
Okay, so let's go. And he's talking about Tazariot. You know, that attention-seeking whore. You know? That's what he is, man. Like a woman, man. Seeking attention. Then you got spots in your doctrine, man.
Huh? That's what you...
Okay, let's play back. No more.
That was a black guy. King James, that was a black guy. He's black. You know, he's the king of England. He's the king of a European country, but he's black. It's like, come on, dog. Everybody's black to you guys. You're doing the same thing.
And we say so-called black for the ones that it apply to. Primarily of the Southern Kingdom, so-called blacks. So-called African Americans, so-called Haitians, so-called West Indian. You know? Everybody's not black. First of all, ain't no such thing as black people. That's made up. When the Lord create people to be colors or known by colors, the Lord didn't create that. All right, the Elder Malcolm already proved that's a social construct going back to the 1700s. All right, I'm sorry, the 17th century, which is the 1600s, man. That's all that was. A social construct that was created by the tiny tops, man. You know? But let's continue on because he don't know that.
The whites do. Mark, what do you mean? Yeah, the European ruling class, they're liars. You guys do the same thing. You lie. You make up things. You misrepresent history. You steal history. Huh? That's what you do. You're doing the same thing that the whites do. Are they actually serious about what they say they believe in? Or is it a cult that's used to extract money and significance for the individuals at the top of their hierarchy?
Now, see, that's something that the wacky-tacky Christians do. You know? That's not something we do. You know? But, again, you have camps that are set up, all right, that is trying to feed their own bellies. They out here claiming to be Israelites just for filthy lucre. So being transparent, hey, you have guys out here like that, you know. But that's a part of the truth, though. You're gonna have sincere Israelites that believe, and you're gonna have Israelites that don't believe. All right, and the Lord ain't gonna keep the unbelieving Israelites. He's gonna keep the one that's believing and do His will, man. More importantly, the ones that are part of the elect, man. All right, and the rest of the 1/3, the remnant. Okay, the Lord's gonna preserve them. All right, not the whole nation, as far as on this side. Okay.
And also notice when I ask them questions about the basic things, because they say it's not a religion, it's a bloodline, it's a heritage, it's a bloodline. Well, blood would mean DNA and genetics. DNA and genetics manifest in things that are visible in many cases, like your skin coloration, your height, your hair texture. It's called your racial features. And
as you see, let me get some real quick, man. Blood ain't got nothing to do with your fucking hair or your skin type, man. Okay? However, the nations have their different features. But for the most part, the nations are different shades of brown, except for the Edomite, at least to get with the brown nations. All right? And you can be anywhere from light to dark brown. Like them so-called Africans, the Hamites. They be super dark, damn near purple looking, right? That's a deep, dark brown, man. When you get up close on them, man. Okay? It's like a chocolate brown. Chocolate is very dark, super dark. Especially dark chocolate, you know? But you can split up dark chocolate and see this brown still. But that's something simple. That ain't nothing to get off on. That's just simple, right? Let's grab a precept real quick. Let's go here. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1. And start at verse 20. It says, "Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Had not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world?" Right. And see, he's coming from a worldly mindset, a mindset that he get from this world, probably through college, whatever. Because Jacob get the college education and think they on some level of intelligence, man. But the wisdom of this world is foolish with the Most High, man. All right. Verse 21, for after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. See? This world know the true wisdom. All right. Only ones that know the true wisdom or true knowledge, wisdom, understanding is the Lord's elect. See? For after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. It pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. And that's what we do. That's why we was called with a holy calling. Okay? To go out and preach the gospel. All right? To them that believe. If you don't believe, we don't care. Okay? If you don't believe, oh well. We don't give a shit. All right? Have a good day. You know? You're not going to stop anything. Okay? We'll keep it moving. We ain't got to, and we ain't trying to beat this truth or this gospel into your head. Hell no. You're going to listen, hear, and receive it and take heed, or you're not. Simple. You know? Romans 3:3. For what if some do not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? Right. So if you, like Marquette, you don't believe. Okay, cool. But is your unbelief or your lack of faith is going to make our faith of Yahweh Shai without effect? Verse 4, the Most High forbid. So it's a no. Yea, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar. See? So, hey, man, it is what it is, man. All right? You don't believe? All right, cool. Okay? The Lord going to deal with you in a way that you ain't going to expect. All right, which is very harshly. See, you 2/3 of our people, and the Lord is going to cause you to feel death by pain, man. Because you receive not the love of the truth, man. And neither do you want to. Like it says in Jeremiah 6:10, that you cast the Most High's word behind you. You have no delight in the Lord's word, man. You have no delight in the Lord's word. So the Lord ain't going to have no delight in you. You know? Simple. You know? Play a little more of the clip. Again, fair use.
Your height, your hair texture, it's called your racial features. And race is a real thing. It's not a social construct. So with that being the case, if you're saying it's a bloodline, not a religion.
He said, what? Hold on.
Hair texture, It's called your racial features, and race is a real thing. It's not a social construct. So with that being the case.
But how do you determine race, Marquette? That's the question. How do you determine race? You know, he can't answer that. You determine someone's race or bloodline or lineage by the house of their fathers. Let's get that. Numbers 1:18. It says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees. What do pedigrees mean? The bloodline, right? Or bloodlines, plural, right? After their families by the house of their fathers. See? According to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their posts. So that's how you declare, one's pedigree, by the house of their father and his father's fathers. Going all the way back, tracing the father's line. See? and that's just simple, man. When our forefather Jacob was made, did it say that he was because after he wrestled with the angel, his name was changed from Jacob to Israel, right? Israel means, Jacob means supplanter, all right, or to supplant. And Israel means he's a prince of God, or he's a prince of the power. Did it say that he was did he say he was half a prince of God and a half prince of Aram, which his forefathers came out of? Abraham came out of Aram, the Syrians. He wasn't part Syrian, part Israel. No, he became Israel. Okay, he's a prince of God, and everyone after his loins, as far as the sons, became what? A descendant of his. Israelite meaning what? They descend from Israel. His daughter was an Israelite woman, but she can't continue on the bloodline because she's a female. Simple, man.
A real thing. It's not a social construct. So with that being the case, if you're saying it's a bloodline, not a religion, well, if it's a bloodline, why do you need a book? If it's a bloodline,
the book is the accounts. The book is our history. This book belongs to the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native American or indigenous to the Americas, which collectively we are the Israelites. This is our book. Okay? This book bear a record. It bear accounts of our people. From past, present, and even the coming future. This ain't just a book. Matter of fact, this is a book that contains many books within it.
Whose blood is it? What are the racial features? And when you can't describe them, it's very strange. And more importantly, when you tell me that Bob Marley's not a black man, I find that very funny, especially when I'm hearing it from Tazariak, who's like damn near white himself. Like, Brody's paler than Barack Obama.
And that's a spot in your in your doctrine over there at ISUPK, and whoever can teach that madness. When I first learned the truth, when the Lord first brought me in, I thought that too. But I didn't have understanding. I was coming out of the world. So I spewed out something that I shouldn't have spewed out. And then it was the elder apostle Gabar that broke that down so beautifully. And then the Lord started giving me understanding of knowing about the speckled bird Israelites. Knowing how Jake can look like it says in Jeremiah 12 and verse 9, that the Lord's heritage is the house of Israel, all right, is unto him like a speckled bird. And how you got to read someone's spirit. See, Jake got a zeal. Because I was like that. You come in from the world, you got a zeal, right? But then you gotta get the knowledge, man. and understanding of the Lord's word, man. See? And then I quickly began to be sorrowful. I actually made a video. When I did that. And I apologized. Because I didn't want no brother to go off. Because I shouldn't have uttered those words. Truth be told, I was too young on the journey. I wasn't on the journey long enough to be out in the forefront teaching. You know, I should have been still taking notes. You know? And I felt so bad for it. I was really remorseful for it. Because without a shadow of doubt, Bob Marley is an Israelite, man. Though his daddy looked like a so-called white man, his dad like an Edomite. But you look at his daddy origin. You know his daddy origin, man. You look at his dad's demeanor, his spirit. You can clearly see that man's an Israelite, man. You know? So I was cut when the apostle made that video years ago. But then I began to learn and learn how to discern, man. You know? So that's a spot, all right, that's on the ISUPK and whoever teach that madness. Because at this point, you've been in the truth for so long, man. You should know how to discern, the spirits of our people and different people. Know how to look up one's lineage, all that. You know? And the scriptures speak about that. Let's get James real quick. And this is why you got to hold fast to sound doctrine. You know? Let's see, it's the book of James. James, chapter 1, and I start 26. If any man among you seem to be religious and bridle it not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. And see, Tazariak be talking shit against the apostles, begin with Apostle Har on down, but this nigga be going off. You know? He be going the fuck off. You know? Because why? He's not in it. He's not in it, doing this work out of truth and sincerity. All these interviews he's doing is for what? It's for lucre. Filthy lucre. So he would come on your platform and say some nonsense like that about Bob Marley. Bob Marley was like a god when he lived. Because the scripture say what? I have said ye are gods, but you should die like men, right? The sons of men, right? So the Israelites, we're likening it to gods to these people. Everything Jake do, the world love it. Why? Because we got the salt. All right, we're the flavor of the earth. And everything we do is golden. Why do you think reggae became so popular as it did during this time? You know? He's hands down the best reggae singer of all that came and went. He's number one. There's no reason you see his paintings, no wonder why you see his paintings and memorabilia, all right, in a lot of people's restaurants and museums, musical Hall of Fame things of that nature, because that man was an Israelite, and so was his father. I believe his father's name was Norval, like Norval Marley, or Norval something. I forget his name. Bob, you can look it up on your own time. I ain't gonna pull it right now. But yeah, that's clearly the Israelite, man. Okay, Verse 27, pure religion and undefiled before the Most High and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction and to keep himself unspotted from the world. See? And how it looked is all right. You got spots, man. All right, in your doctrine. Teaching that Israelites are fucking heathen. Are you kidding me, man? And y'all known to do that, man. See the Jake come from the west coast of the land of Ham. You quick to condemn him. Because why? You're not really spiritual, man, as you think you are. You're not spiritual as you think you are, man. You know? Let's play a little more.
Like damn near white himself. Like Brody's paler than Barack Obama. Then they have actual white Latinos in their movement. So it's like a white Latino could be in your movement, but then you turn around and say a white man is Esau or the devil. It doesn't make sense.
See? Let's get this real quick. The book of Jeremiah 12 and verse 9. And it reads, mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. All right, again, the Lord's heritage is who? Jacob. Says the birds round about are against her, which are what? That's symbolic for the other nations, man. See? And among these nations, all right, our people going to lay, or the men of our people, all right, us men, we lay seed, man. I know men personally that's of age, man. Well, I'm talking about what I think Mr. I ain't gonna say his name, Shalakia, but one of my family friends I know, he's over 100. This man go back to World War II. This man's still kicking from what I remember. At least he died recently or something. But I'm sure my mother would have told me. This man is his hundreds, man. He got kids all over the world. Okay? And this was told me by his own seed, his own son, which is he was my, not only is, they family friends, but they, his son was my JROTC instructor in junior high. I was about the 6th grade, but he knew me, and he didn't take it easy on me, of course, but he knew me, and he told me a lot as I got older. So I became a full-grown man. I was like, man, how many of you? I was curious because there's so many of them. I went to school with their kids, and he told me, man, it's a lot of us, man. He said he got like 20-some, almost 30-some brothers across seas and over here in the States as well. And I remember his father riding his bicycle up into his 90s. So Jake be healthy, man. Back in them generations, man. In that man's generation. So he laid seed everywhere. All right? And on top of that, the Lord said what? He would scatter us among these nations, man. And you can even go into the what's called the Arab slave trade. All right, the sub-Saharan, I believe it is. But the so-called Arabs, when they was buying and selling Jake, they often would cut off their rods. They would castrate them. Why? Because Jake known to lay seed, be popping on women. Because no one loved women like the way Israelite men do. Why do you think we're so popular in the earth, man? Okay? Go to a lot of them European countries. They want Jake men. Even these so-called Asian countries, they want Jake men. From the so-called Negro on down to the so-called Mexican. They want Jake men. Yeah, you got Japan, they want Jake come over there and just pop their women to have babies to bring back their population. So Jake laid seed. And if that seed is growing up among them people, the Israelite gonna look like wherever they at. The fucking East Indians, fucking so-called Chinese, so-called Japanese, so-called Africans, so-called Arabs. You know? Because that's where they've been at for so many generations, man. They keep popping them heathen women. So they're going to keep on reproducing. It's common sense. Why you think Esau talks shit about Jake when it comes down to, having children? They know we love to have children. It's in our DNA. It's in our genetics, man. It's in our whole makeup. I like to be fruitful and multiply. Let me get a drink real quick. This is Deuteronomy 28. Let me start at 15 real quick. Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power to serve, to do all his commandments and the statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So if we didn't hearken to the voice of our power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, that he would bring these curses with some evil that he's going to bring upon us, man. And one of the curses was this. Verse 64. It says, and the Lord, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. Right, all the other nations. From the one end of the earth, even to the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even with a stone. And this is what our people did. They worship and serve these idols. And that's the main thing that led us away captive, into captivity. See? And like I was going into, Jake gonna lay seed everywhere, man. Why do you think the mixed multitude is spoken about in the scriptures, man? The mixed multitude gonna be what? The different Israelites from these different nations. Let's go back to the video. Again, fair use, fair use.
And is Esau or the devil? It doesn't make sense. You could have a white Latino in your movement, but then you say a black man like Bob.
Okay, whatever. You get the gist of it. You can watch it on your own time, and maybe I'll put the description, or the link in the description box. So point being, you still ain't said shit, Marquette. And so you would point that out about Tazariak, which Tazariak do go off with that. And that's on him. That's on ISUBK from the dude, because I ain't a man of the Lord. The dude that sits there with the big ass belly that claimed to be a man of the Lord, but he's now in the highways and hedges. You don't see him. He ain't burning down no fucking streets with the truth. But see, when you got a leader like that, Tazariak is the results. Because I wasn't in the camp then, right? I wasn't in the truth then. But I believe the report that he learned from GMS. I don't believe them elders of Dallas, the elder Yashawam by them. I don't believe they lied on him. He lied. He learned from GMS, and that's what it was. So he learned the truth. And so, with that being said, niggas, it's like it's fucking nigga. I'm got a fucking door open, man. Playing the fucking music, Slakia. That's not my music, man. I'm drying my clothes at the laundromat. Slakia. Okay, but still, point being, hey, the joke's gonna be on you, man. Because Tazariak, they're gonna be judged with, man. I mean, they're gonna be dealt with. The Lord gonna judge them. Okay. They be doing a lot of shit that's off, man. And that's why the apostles on down be rebuking them, man. Because Tazariak he's an attention-seeking whore, man. And I sincerely mean that, man. Why would you go on these platforms, you know, and speak to these unbelieving Israelites? That makes no sense to me, you know. If you don't believe, hey, keep it going. Go on the street, man. I'm going to go my way, you go your way. Simple. You know? This ain't no debate. We ain't doing no debating with you. We got the truth, that's it. You know? So you ain't going to roast, you know, Israel. Even though you're Israelite yourself, but you just bugged out. See, the Lord's going to have the last laugh, man. You know, I'm going to prove it too. Luke 6:25. Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Let's see what the word full means. It says to fill up, fill, full, to take one's fill of, glut one's desire, for, satisfy, satiate. And you know, he getting a little money off the YouTube in the little red pill space and this little podcast he do. But what happens when that MOTV come out? When they present that RFID technology, which is, you know, we know it's to be the CHIP, all right? When the system crash, and then you got to get the MOTV, then what? What you gonna do, Marquette? Right? What you gonna do, Tazariot? Woe to you that laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep. Right. So you call yourself trying to roast Israelites that teach, hey, you're gonna be the one to get laughed at. Because the Lord gonna surely judge you. And the scriptures say that every idle word man should give an account for in the day of judgment, Marquette. So when Yahweh shall judge you, bro, you gonna know why you being judged, man. The Lord gonna call to mind all the things you said, man. You know? Because the Lord gonna bring that evil upon your ass. Oh, you know what? Isaiah 45:7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, all caps, his name is Yahweh, do all these things. So when the Lord bring evil upon your ass and judge you, because 1 Peter 4:17 said the Lord going to begin judgment at this house. So I ain't going to be surprised if you get judged. Like I said, even if you make it to the missiles, the thermonuclear fire, that's going to be the Lord roasting your ass. Okay? The Lord going to have the last laugh, man. Guarantee you. Proverbs 1, I'm going to close after this. Proverbs 1:22. How long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Right, because the Lord had prepared, all right, judgment for you scorners, man. Let's get that. Backs. It's in the same book. Let's type this in real quick. Yeah. Proverbs 19:29. It says, judgments are prepared for scorners and stripes for the back of fools. See? That's going to be you, Marquette. And Tazariak, if you don't get your shit together. Proverbs 1 and I'm going to jump down. All right? Go right to the point. Because the truth is out there. The gospel been preached, man. Period, man. All right. Proverbs 1 and I start 24. No, I'm gonna start at 25. It says, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. Right, you didn't want to be corrected. Verse 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And the Lord's gonna bring that fear upon you. By what? These plagues. All you niggas that talk shit, hey, Yahweh Shemel Shai gonna deal with you, man. He gonna fucking deal with you dudes, man. scoffing and talking shit. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as a desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. See? So Marquette, the Lord going to destroy you because you don't choose the fear of the Lord. Again, you subscribe to what? Islam. Well, all you need is a fucking just for me perm, or dark and lovely, or precise perm. See, I know about this shit, because Jake used to do that shit growing up. I just see Jake putting that shit in their heads, man. And a fucking Gillette razor. And anybody can be a fucking Muslim or Christian, Any of these religions, man. Yeah, you gotta get the pedo face, the bald ass face, man. And you don't need a perm. You got no fucking hair. The Lord gonna roast your planet's peanut head ass, man. The Lord gonna laugh at your ass, man. I can't wait, man. The Lord's gonna deal with Jake, man. And the way Jake ain't gonna think he gonna deal with him. But he gonna come upon you suddenly, man. So with that, I'm gonna give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. Hey, shalom to the Lord's elect. Again, I want to say double honors to the apostles and the elders and bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, sincere Akim, and you few Akwap that believe, man. Hey, we almost out of here. Shalom.